All our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of the general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, you got to love this report. The World Economic Forum pushes digital ID, the central bank digital currency, ESG, and crackdowns on misinformation in future focus report. They get to determine what is and what is not misinformation. Keep that in mind. We have saw firsthand what their impression of misinformation is. And every single time, it was not misinformation. It was information they didn't agree with. They are violating our constitutional rights. They have circumvented it. That's exactly what's going on here. And now I'm going to show you that Joe Biden has absolutely positively killed the US dollar. Many of you don't know about this. Even I didn't. And so I'm bringing it to you. The World Economic Forum's Future Focus 2025 report is a roadmap for steering society towards a great reset with the help of the great narratives. F the poor. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, and by golly, if you haven't bought now, man, you are going to be hurting later on. Go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Real quick, I just want people to know, I just found this out myself. For some reason, Saitama is getting rid of their old SataMask app. So there's a new one coming. So it looks like they're revamping everything when it comes to Saitama. So just be prepared to remove yourself off of the old Saitama website. Just pause right here and read all this, and it'll let you know what's going on. Just be ready. So this is actually James Rickard. I think I pronounce his last name wrong all the time, just because it's unusual. It looks like Richards, but it's actually like Rickards. First of all, that's a pretty nice bar he's holding in his hand there of gold. Okay, he did a report that caught my attention, talking about a specific executive order that Joe Biden has already signed into order in the dead of the night without it being voted on, without the American people being informed. We see a lot of that going on, and we need to nip that kind of crap right in its ass. We got a lot of these presidents. It's been happening ever since Bush Jr. has been in office, where they sign these executive orders, bypassing everything else, and implement it like as law. It's only executive order, but are very damaging. Bush did things against the American people with it. Obama did things against the American people with it. Trump did things for the American people with executive orders. And now Biden is doing things against the American people. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's where Jim Rickards is talking about. Executive Order 14067, ensuring responsible development of digital assets. Yeah, see, they kept talking about cryptocurrencies over and over. But then all of a sudden they want to develop their own cryptocurrency. And you heard Turtle Man at the beginning of this video. The CBDC is a type of currency that they are allowed to keep an eye on anything and everything that you do with your currency, but they actually can control what you can and can't buy. It's programmable. Anyways, Jim Rickards points this out about this. Go down to section 4. This is how you know the dollar is dead, when they're not even trying to save the dollar. They don't care to. Section 4, policy and actions related to the United States central bank digital currencies. The policy of my administration on a United States central bank digital currency is as follows. Let's go through this because they want to control anything and everything you do with your money. And they're going to try to pitch this thing like it's the be all, save all. It's going to make everybody equal. You won't be able to commit crimes. They're going to be able to keep track of everything you do with it. First of all, they're violating our Constitution. The fact that they are able to keep data on us, to keep track of everything we do via surveillance, violates our Constitution. And we just let them do it. We can never let them do anything like that. Not ever. They'll continue to lie to you and say it's in the name of safety, but we know it's not. So they're going to try to pitch this thing as the way to stop racism, to have equal pay for everybody, stakeholder capitalism. You are going to be inclusive. It's the same kind of crap that they pitch to people before they flip your country into communism. You don't ever want your government to have control of anything. You cannot name one thing that the government has ever done successfully as far as managing finances. So here we go. It says sovereign money is at the core of the well-functioning financial system, macroeconomic stabilization policies, and economic growth. My administration places the highest urgency on research and development efforts in the potential design and development options of the United States central bank digital currency. Now, I told you this before, and I stick to my guns. They're not designing, they're not exploring, they're not looking into anything. It's already done. They use this kind of verbiage so that people don't get hip to the fact that these people are doing whatever the hell they want whenever they feel like it. So they throw this out there like a fishing lure. You know what I mean? They want to see if people are going to respond positively or negatively towards this particular action. But when you do this thing in the middle of the night where nobody knows about it and the news doesn't cover it, it makes it really hard for all of us to respond. This is the kind of crap that I think every single American, when it comes to actions like this, you should be able to have a say-so. In other words, vote on whether or not you want this. And we should never want a central bank digital currency. You see, these efforts should include assessment of possible benefits and risk for consumers, investors, and businesses, financial stability and systematic risk, payment system, national security, the ability to exercise human rights, financial inclusion and equity, and the actions required to launch the United States central bank digital currency if doing so is deemed to be in the national interest. They don't give a shit if it is or not. It's not in our national interest, not at all. It's dangerous. They've already made a decision. A lot of you go to these rallies. If you get a chance to get anywhere close to a senator, a congressional person, ask them what they think of the central bank digital currency and what kind of actions are they going to take to stop it. That's not being talked about, and it should be. Biden says my administration sees merit in showcasing United States leadership and participation in international fora related to the central bank digital currency. Of course, the Democrats want to flip us into a communist country. So why wouldn't they see merit on being able to force out their China-type control over its citizens? And in a multi-country conversation and pilot projects involving the central bank digital currencies, any future dollar payment system should be designed in a way that is consistent with the United States priorities as outlined in Section 4AI of this order and democratic values, including privacy protection. They have no intention whatsoever to give you any type of privacy protection, and that ensures the global financial system has appropriate transparency, connectivity, and platform and architecture interoperability or transferability as appropriate. They're full of crap. It's a programmable money. They can decide what companies are allowed to exist, what products are allowed to be bought, and they can circumvent your entire constitution by saying something like, oh, I don't know, program that money so that they can't donate to Republicans, so that they can't donate to the National Rifle Association, so they can't buy rifles, so they can't buy ammo. For you people on the left, don't think you're protected. What happens if they start cutting off your abilities to buy lattes or electric cars or put rubber bands in your hair because you want to make a man bun? Yeah, that could be next, so just keep that in mind. A United States central bank digital currency may have the potential to support efficient and low-cost transactions. We already have that. I can use my ATM card. I don't need it any lower. I'm fine with where it is as long as it keeps the government from controlling what I can and can't do with my money. Particularly for cross-border funds, transfers, and payments, and to foster greater access to the financial system with fewer of the risks posed by private sector administrative digital assets. No, that's exactly what this is. The federal government getting in control of what I can and can't do with my money. And that's why cryptos are a threat to governments, because they can't control it. A United States CBDC that is interoperable with CBDC issued by other monetary authorities could facilitate faster and lower cost cross-border payments and potentially boost economic growth, support the continued centrality of the United States within the international financial system, and help to protect the unique role that the dollar plays in global finance. There are also, however, potential risks and downsides to consider. We should prioritize timely assessment of potential benefits and risk under various designs to ensure that the United States remains a leader in the international financial system. The reason why our government wants this type of control, all you got to do is turn to how they manage the SWIFT system, how they try to use it to punish countries that don't agree with them. So if you're going to give them this type of control over the central bank digital currency, all hell's going to break loose, which is more to the point and why I keep saying buy gold and silver. You're going to need something outside of the system. Everybody that has your money in a bank account, one day you're going to wake up, they're going to push you into the central bank digital currency. Now, I've already read a report and showed you in one of my videos. What does it say about gold and silver? You can sell your precious metals and receive the central bank digital currency. But you cannot use your central bank digital currency to buy precious metals. What the hell? Seriously? If that is not a clear indicator that they want to control everything and to keep you inside the system, I don't know what is. Within 180 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Treasury, in consultation with the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Director of Office of Management and Budget, the Director of National Intelligence, and the heads of other relevant agencies shall submit to the President a report on the future of money and payment system. See, here's the thing. Why do we give a crap about quicker cross-border payments? It doesn't affect us. That only helps banks, including the conditions that drive broad adoption of the digital assets. The extent to which technological innovation may influence these outcomes and the implications for the United States financial system, the modernization of and changes to the payment system, economic growth, financial inclusion, and national security. They're going to tell you this is going to squash wealth. This way everybody's on the same page, which is true. It will do that. They get to select who is going to be rich and who is not. I kid you not. You see, here's what they're not telling you, is that the central bank digital currency has an expiration date on it. If you don't spend the money, you lose it. Of course, everybody's going to be on the same page because everybody is going to be systematically enslaved to the system that you can't get out of. How can you ever save money to retire? How can you ever save money to start a business? How can you ever save money if you want to go to college? They will be able to determine all that on who is and who is not worthy. That the system is systematically racist. What do you think that same system is going to do when they have the ability to control everything you do with your money? Let that sink in. This report shall be coordinated through the interagencies process described in Section 3 of this order based on the potential United States CBDC design option. This report shall include an analysis of, look, I'm telling you right now, I don't give a crap how they pitch this thing, how they make it sound. In no circumstances do we ever want to go 100% digital. There is no protecting yourself from the corrupt government, a government of tyranny, which is what we have right now. You can see what's happening over in China. What did they do? They use their facial recognition to identify all kinds of people who are protesting against the communist government, then turn around and red flag their ID passport, claiming that they were positive with COVID, forcing them to go back indoors so they couldn't protest, and then froze their bank accounts. That's what they did. They'll starve you to death. So here's what this report is supposed to do. The potential implication of the United States central bank digital currency based on the possible design choices for national interests, okay, including implication for economic growth and stability. We have the type of economy that is debt-based. In other words, if people save their money, the economy fails, like we're seeing now. If they go out there and spend, then the economy thrives. They want you to be enslaved to the system. The central bank digital currency that has an expiration date on it will do exactly what they want. The potential implication of the United States central bank digital currency might have a financial inclusion. The United States central bank digital currency might have on financial inclusion. Might have on it? I love how they tell you that. Hey, you guys, this might have inclusion of everybody. Might have. But once they have control of it and you have no other options, then you're going to find out who is included and who isn't. And you're not the included people, trust me. The potential relationship between a CBDC and private sector administrated digital asset. The future of sovereign and privately produced money globally and implication for our future, for our financial system and democracy. Okay, did you guys catch the one part that should have jumped out at you? It said the future of sovereign and privately produced money? Huh. So when they try to tell you how many digital coins are out there, they're just going to lie to you. Because there will be 2 books. I have a degree in accounting. We know about what's called dual bookkeeping. That's when you have one set of books that Uncle Sam gets to see, but another one that's kept privately and that's kept between the owner and the accountant. That's exactly what's going to happen here. I love how they say democracy. Everything is democracy. Oh, Trump is violating our democracy. He wants to overthrow our democracy. First of all, this country is not a democracy. They keep saying that, but it's not. We are a constitutional republic. If you don't know the difference between the two, you need to go look it up. The extent to which foreign central bank digital currencies could displace existing currencies and alter the payment system in ways that could undermine the United States financial centrality. The extent of which foreign central bank digital currency could displace existing currencies and alter the payment system. In other words, we have the SWIFT system. You'll do what we say, we'll kick you out of the SWIFT system. But if you find an alternative way, like Russia is doing, to bypass the SWIFT system and your economy becomes successful after all the sanctions, then we have failed at manipulating the world. We need to change things. And that's exactly what the central bank digital currency is going to do. So if you thought they were misbehaving when they had the SWIFT system, what the heck do you think is going to happen when a central bank digital currency comes out? I love how they always try to mix in that this is for your protection. The potential implications for national security and financial crimes, including an analysis of illicit financing risk, sanctions risk, other law enforcement and national security interests, and implications for human rights. They don't give a crap about human rights. They violate them all the time. And you can't trust our intelligence agencies. The only human rights violations that we have is the corrupt system that's in place now. It says an assessment of the effects of the growth of foreign CBDCs may have on the United States interest generally. The growth of a CBDC. So in other words, if another country really starts to succeed and people are interested in that country and have faith in it and want to do, invest in their foreign currency like a Forex, and all of a sudden the power of the dollar starts to drop, well, what they're saying here is, no, we can't go for that. We have to be the dominant dollar at all times. In other words, they want to continue to be the world's reserve currency. And if you don't agree with it, they can use the CBDC to shut an entire country off. I'm going to leave a link because I know you guys don't want me to sit here and read this word for word. What you really want to do is come all the way down here to where it says section 4 and read from there. Section 4. Read from there all the way down to section 5. Because this right here will tell you exactly where this country is going, what they intend to do, how they're going to block you from your money, the whole 9 yards. They're just going to keep saying it's in the interest of our national security. I'll just give you a quick sample of that. Section 7. Actions to limit illicit finance and associated national security risk. Digital assets have facilitated sophisticated cybercrime related to financial networks and activities, including through ransomwares. In case you haven't caught it, go listen to Snowden and tell you that ransomware is actually created by our own intelligence agencies. They use it as a tool to push the public in the direction they want them to go into, claiming that there's some outside forces that's causing this ransomware when it's them all along. So the growing use of digital assets in financing activities heighten risk of crimes such as money laundering, terrorist and proliferation financing. George Soros is using Bitcoin right now to help finance a so-called pro-democracy group in a country that overthrew its leader in a military coup when they found out that they had been plotting with George Soros to do some really bad things. And then when the military took it over, they exposed all kinds of things that Soros was doing, kicked out a lot of his groups, arrested a lot of his managers, and now they're talking about the Bitcoin is for pro-democracy. No, no, no. The Bitcoin is to find a way for your people to grab control of the country that you lost. Just call it democracy. It's not about democracy. They're going to be included in this whole group of people under this one world order. And that's why the military overthrew them. They don't want anything to do with it whatsoever. Anyways, I highly recommend you come through here and check this out. I mean, I went all the way down to section 7, but you could just go through and read section 4 on down to 5, and it tells you exactly what the central bank digital currency is going to do and how they intend to use it. If you really want a much better understanding, read it all the way down, and you will see that their intentions are to grab 100% control of our currency and tell us what we can and can't do with it so that they can control it and control their people by falsely labeling them what they want to label you so they can keep you from your money. Anyways, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. I look forward to your comments. That's it for now. I'll catch you later. I'm out.